So in this installment today of Mr. Luna's Backyard Science, we're going to refer to the carbon cycle. Now, carbon is a readily available element, and it's usually in nature never found by itself because of its unique bonding structure. Carbon in its purest form only makes up 0.04% of all of the atmosphere, and yet that's what we excrete out when we breathe out. When I breathe in, I'm breathing in air. My body uses oxygen. We release that in the form of carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is what we put out into the atmosphere. Plants use that carbon dioxide to turn it into sugars and use that form called photosynthesis. So this discussion is going to talk about the unique relationship that not only do we have with plants, but how carbon, 18%, 19% of our body mass is carbon, and so little of it is readily available in the atmosphere. Again, 0.04%, but such an essential element in this whole carbon cycle that allows this beautiful mutualistic relationship that we have with plants. So something you're going to notice about plants is plants are green. This green is because of the chlorophyll located inside the plant's cellular structure. And that chlorophyll uses or is green because of chloroplast. Now what happens is when light strikes this plant, light is going to give energy. The plant is going to take in carbon dioxide and use that energy in the form of photosynthesis, and it's going to create oxygen for us to breathe and sugars for us to eat. For example, this is a rosemary plant. This is going to have sugars that we can actually eat, and we use this plant as a spice. Delicious with chicken. So as plants release all that oxygen, me and my furry friend here, we use that oxygen and we eat those plants as a form of sugar, and we use that oxygen for our bodies in our mitochondria. Mitochondria is little organelles that our bodies have in our cells, and we use that as a form of energy, and that is called cellular respiration. So the question you want to ask yourself is, how is carbon dioxide considered a greenhouse gas emission? Especially since we have this mutualistic relationship with plants. Plants take in carbon dioxide, it releases oxygen in the form of photosynthesis. We breathe in oxygen, we release carbon dioxide in the form of cellular respiration. Why would we have this sort of difficulty as carbon dioxide being considered again a greenhouse gas? Well, over time, as things start to pass away, anything that is organic, and the word organic means with carbon, so anything that dies gets, over time, buried into the ground. The further down it gets buried, the more pressure is added onto these carbon bonds. And these carbon bonds can be formed into something called fossil fuels. Hence this picture right here. The further down things get buried, these skeletal structures and anything organic can be converted into a fossil fuel that we know of as oil or coal. The thing about fossil fuels is it's easily used for energy. But one of the byproducts of this energy is called a combustion reaction. And one of the byproducts, again, aside from the amount of energy that's going to be released from a combustion reaction, a byproduct is carbon dioxide. And so not only do plants have to contend with animals, species breathing out carbon dioxide, but now it also has the added pressure of this extra carbon dioxide from these past fossil fuels of oil and coal now being emitted into the air. is how the cycle works. Very simple. We breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants take in that carbon dioxide, and then with energy from the sun in the chloroplast, it uses photosynthesis, or a process called photosynthesis, to create oxygen and sugars. We then in turn eat the sugars. The sugars can be used in our glucose. It can be used as a form of energy. It can be used as part of our DNA. It can be used as building blocks or amino acids. And we also use oxygen to breathe and to allow our cells, in this case mitochondria, to form or to do cellular respiration. And we breathe out carbon dioxide, and there's your carbon cycle. It really is as simple as that. And thanks again for watching another installment of Mr. Luna's Backyard Science. Happy breathing.